we go. And we're on. Welcome back, everyone, to Robert's English Classroom. Today's lesson is 6 polite ways to give a suggestion or advice. Often, we want to tell family or friends, hey, you shouldn't do that or stop doing that. But actually, in English, there are some polite ways to say this. Now, let's take a look here at the first two. Okay, maybe you could, and why don't you? Now, look below here, the picture, somebody is smoking. So if we have a friend who smokes and we don't want them to smoke, we give them some advice or suggestions to not smoke. So we could say like this, maybe you could try to smoke fewer cigarettes every day. All right, we're using maybe you could. Maybe you could try to smoke fewer cigarettes. Or how about this one? Why don't you? Why don't you quit cold turkey? Cold turkey means to stop right away. Why don't you quit cold turkey? That's a good way. So these two phrases are ways that are kind of polite and they sound nicer when we want to ask somebody to do something, okay? I've got a few more, so stick around. Here we go. Okay, so let's try the next group. Okay, I've got what about and have you thought about? All right, so look down here. I've put a hot cup of coffee. So let's pretend that somebody we know drinks too much coffee, or maybe they come to you and they say, oh, I'm drinking too much coffee. What can I do? I want to drink less. So here are two ways that we can give a suggestion. So the first one, what about? Well, what about drinking only 1 cup every day? Or have you thought about drinking herbal tea instead? All right, so instead of saying, don't just stop, don't, instead of being mean about it, you can be polite. Well, what about doing this? Or have you thought about maybe drinking herbal tea instead? Okay, these are polite ways. Let's try the last group. Okay, we've got our cell phone, social media person, somebody that's using social media too much. So we could say it might be a good idea to, or one option is to, right? One option is a choice. So let's look at this. So somebody who's using social media too much, it might be a good idea to shut down your phone at 9 o'clock. Okay, that's some good advice. Or one option is to go out and exercise more and leave your phone at home. Okay, so again, here are two examples of polite ways that we can give suggestions to stop using your cell phone. And all of these ways, these 6 ways, you can change them around. They all mean the same thing. All right, so let's move on. I've got one more page here. Let's go to my only screen. And here are some examples to take a look at. All right, we've got our smoker, our coffee drinker, and our social media user. So let's look at the first one. I smoke too much. So what can you say? Maybe you could try a nicotine patch. I smoke too much. Why don't you go see a doctor? Next one. I drink 5 cups of coffee every day. What about changing to herbal tea instead? I drink 5 cups of coffee. What should I do to cut down? Well, have you thought about only drinking 2 cups in the morning? And our last example, I can't stop looking at my phone. Well, hey, it might be a good idea to turn off your phone before bed. Or, I know, one option is to find other hobbies. Okay, and there's our examples there. Take a look. Okay, let's move on. And all right, go on to our next one. Last one here. And that's it. All right, so 6 polite suggestions, and try them out next time you're with a friend or family. And, you'll find it sounds nicer, and you're being a nice, polite person in English, okay? All right, hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.